In today's video, we're doing Your Mom by Wet Leg. If you like the video, please like and subscribe down below, and check out the Patreon, where you can start for as little as $5 a month, and you're going to get a PDF and a guitar profile of this entire lesson. So grab a guitar and let's play. First, let's take a look at the 4 chords that we're going to be using for this lesson. They're all going to be bar chords, but you could do some simpler chords if you'd like. The first chord we're going to take a look at is going to be B, and it's going to be a bar chord that is going to be the E shape on the 7th fret. Next, move that down 2 frets to A. Take that same shape up to the 10th fret for D. And then finally up to the 12th fret for E. Now if you want to play some simpler chords, you could do some 5 chords. So for the B, you could do that here, or where you're just playing the root and the 5. For A, you do a first position A chord. E, first position E chord, and then the D, first position D chord, the big D. The first 16 bars of the song don't have any guitar, but if you wanted to, you could mimic the keyboard stabs by playing the B and A bar chords. Once we get to the pre-chorus, this is where all the fun begins. There is a ton of cool little guitar melodies all over this song. While the basic tracks for the song just go from B to A, and then the chorus they'll add the D and E that we'll talk about. It's really that second guitar part that is really interesting. So let's take a look at the pre-chorus. Starting on the 7th fret on the 4th string, the first measure of this melody is going to go from 7 to 9. So just like that, 1 note on the 7, which is the A, and then 4 notes on the 9th fret, which is the B. The second measure of the pre-chorus is going to go, so that's going to be a 7, 3 9s on the 4th string, jump down to the 5th string for 7 9, and then back to the 4th string for 7 9. The third measure is going to start with 7 9 on the 5th string, and then 3 quarter notes on the 4th string, 7th fret. The fourth measure of that little riff is going to go essentially the same as the previous one, except the last note is going to be an A flat on the 6th fret. So the first half of the pre-chorus. Alright, let's take a look at the second half of the pre-chorus. So the next measure in the pre-chorus starts with a, it's going to be all 8th notes, and it's going to start with 1 7 on the 4th string, and then 7 9s. Confusing? Perhaps. That's the 5th measure. Then it's going to go, so that's going to start on the 4th string, 7 9 9 9, down to the 5th string, 7 9, and then finally in the 6th string, 7. 7th measure of the pre-chorus is going to start on the 5th string, 7 9, and then it's going to go 7 7 7, on the 4th string. And then the last measure of the pre-chorus is going to be like the 4th measure, 7-9 on the 5th string, and then 7-7-6 on the 4th string. So the pre-chorus all together. So the chorus part's going to come in with some driving 8th note bar chords, starting with B, going to A, back to B, and then a measure of D and a measure of E. Over that driving chorus melody, there's a second guitar that was also featured in the pre-chorus, and it's just going to be playing little melodies on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. So it's going to start off with 5, 7, 5 on the 1st string, and then so 5, 7, 5, 7, and then 7 on the 2nd string. And then it's going to go 7, 5, 4, then 4, 5, 4. That 4 will be on the last 4 will be on the 2nd string, and then 5, 7, 5, 7, 7 on the 2nd string, 7, 5, 4 on the 1st string, 7, 5, 7, 4 on the 2nd string. So that whole part together. After those 8 bars, we've got another really cool 8-bar melody. It's going to start on the 7th fret of the 1st string, 10th fret of the 2nd string, and then 8th fret of the 3rd string. And it's going to use this pattern. So 7, 10, 8, 7, 10, 8, and then it's going to go 7, 10, 6 on the 3rd string, and then 7 on the 1st string, 10 on the 2nd string, 9 on the 1st string, and then 10, 9, 7 on the 1st string, and then we're going to do a 3rd string, start on the 8th fret. We're going to slide from 8 to 11. It's going to do that twice. So altogether, that part will sound like this. Next we come into another pre-chorus. This pre-chorus is almost absolutely identical to the first one. In fact, you could play it identical to the first one and nobody would know the difference. But let's talk about what's going on in the pre-chorus. This time it's ever so subtly different. The first half is going to be exactly the same. So from 7 to 9 it'll start off. Where things just slightly change are going to be the 5th and 6th measure of the recording, and whether it's just her playing it different or the recording being just mixed ever so slightly different, but there's 2 little differences. And the first one is going to be the, instead of, it's going to go 2 8th notes, a whole note, a quarter note, and then, so first version would be, second version is, the next measure is going to be just a little bit different also. It's where it's going to go 7, 9, and then we're not going to have another 8th note there, but then you're going to go 7, 9, 7. So it's, the last 2 measures of the pre-chorus are going to be the same as the first pre-chorus, so 7 and 9 on the 5th string. So 7, 9, and then 3 7s on the 4th string. And then 7, 9 again on the 5th string, and then 7, 7, 6 on the 4th string. So the whole pre-chorus together. Next we get to another chorus, driving 8th note bar chords. B to A, back to B, and then a measure of D, and a measure of E. And it's going to have that same melody over it again. I'll go ahead and play that. And then finally we're going to get to the outro, the fade out part of the song. The chords are still going to be going from B to A, back to B, D, and then to E again. And then once again we have that melody that we saw over the last chorus. So 7, 10, 8, 7, 10, 8, 7, 10, 6, 7, 10, 6, 7, 10, 9, 10, 9, 7, and then that slide from 8 to 11. Thanks for checking out this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe down below, and definitely go buy this new Wet Leg record. It is awesome. Everything I've heard has been fantastic. Like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Also, in this lesson, you will get a PDF of the lesson and a guitar profile of the lesson, so maybe that in itself is worth it, even if you just do it for 1 month. All right, so grab a guitar, go play, and we'll see you in the next lesson.